Hello and welcome to Golden Drip. I am your host, Megan Milinovich, and it has been a minute. I'll go into in a sec why it's been a minute and why I haven't posted a podcast in over a month by the time this gets posted. But first, I'm LOLing at my colic if you're watching this on the video. On my left side, I just came back from dry bar. On my left side, it's always a little swoopier, my bang, my front piece, compared to my right. So I know this and I go to dry bar and tell them, hey, you gotta tighten it a little bit on the left side. Maybe I need to go into more depth as to how I need them to curl it to get it to stay, but first world props. Or maybe I just need to tell them to loosen the right side. Maybe that's the move. To not tighten the curl as much on my right side so that it matches my left. I don't know what it is with my left. If it's because I sleep on my left, so it naturally just kind of dampens the curl or the colic, but we're just addressing the elephant in the room. I already know this is what my hair looks like. And I feel like it's kind of a look. Anyways, let's get right into it. Why and where have I been the past month and why I have not been recording? First of all, I missed it. I have my little drinks here too with me. I miss getting to yap on here with my cutie drinks in front of me, talking about life, talking about what I'm teaching, talking about how I'm implementing what I'm teaching into my own life. But it was an intuitive pull to put a hiatus. Hiatus is probably an aggressive word, but to just pause temporarily recording the podcast to focus on other aspects of my business. Why was that? Because I need to get my shit together a little bit. I needed to establish a better system and a better support squad to help me continue to build and give the community what they need the most. So what does that look like? I've been in a million mentorship and masterminds. 4 to be exact. I have my intuition mentorship. I have my sales mentorship, my marketing mastermind, and of course on how to structure your business so that you can scale it so you can grow. And not even to scale it so you can grow, but how to structure your business so that no one's falling through the cracks, so that you are best servicing your community, your clients in a bulletproof way. And being in these 4 different entities or silos maybe, I needed to delegate tasks. I needed to prioritize tasks within myself and what I was doing. I needed to get rid of things that weren't moving the needle in my business. And I shouldn't say get rid of, but hire out assistants. So for instance, I hired someone to edit the podcast. That's a huge time reliever off my plate. And I needed a better schedule on how to optimize my week and really my month. Really your quarter, really your year, right? Because you take these habits you establish right now and you keep adding and fine tuning them week after week, month after month. So that's what I was doing in June. I got back from Austin. That was my last podcast. I got back from Austin. I hit the ground running as if I'm already not hitting the ground running, but I'm going full force. Usain Bolt. What's that really fast sprinter's name? Whatever that guy's name is. That's how fast I'm fucking running right now. And I had the greatest epiphany that yes, I'm in the business of intuition, of mastering your mindset. Because guys, newsflash, your mindset dictates your reality. Anything you're holding to be true. Neuro and cognitive scientists have proven this. Religions are based off of this. And if you ask any CEO or billionaire how they got to where they're at today, it's mindset. Mindset dictates your reality. All of reality is mirroring back to you whatever your mindset and whatever you're holding to be true in the moment. Even your subconscious thoughts. And that's where we get hung up a lot of the time, is we don't know what subconscious thoughts, that's why they're called subconscious. We don't even realize what fears and limitations we are holding on to in the moment that are still your thoughts, that you're still broadcasting out for reality to mirror back to you. Again, your thoughts, your mindset dictates your reality. And those subconscious thoughts that we don't know what the fuck they are, majority of the time, are blocking our dream life. So why do I say that? I say that because I'm in the business of intuition and mindset mastery. However, I was listening to a fellow entrepreneur and he was saying, you're not actually in the business that you think you're in. And I stopped for a second because I was like, what? And he was talking and I quickly realized that yes, I'm in this business, but in this business, you have to know marketing, sales, fine-tuning your communication. So I had this epiphany. So again, I hit the ground running. I signed up for the sales course. I signed up for the marketing mastermind. And I realized that while I was very siloed in my intuition mentorship for years, I don't say that as a bad thing. You need to become a master and an expert at what you're selling first. Duh, why else are people going to invest in you if you're not an expert at it? I'm not investing in anyone that's not an expert at what they're doing. And I had this epiphany a month ago and I was thinking, you know what, we have to spread our wings and fly a little bit. Leave the coop, leave your intuition groups. I was starting to feel a little too comfortable in there because once you get good at it, you obviously gain comfort and expertise, but in comfort, are you growing? No. Not saying you have to always be 24/7 uncomfortable, but should you be pushing your limits? Should you be pushing your boundaries? Yes. Hence me signing up for 3 different silos or entities of things to Give my business its greatest explosion of goodness. And I say that because you can insert that with anything. If you're getting too comfortable where you're at, if you're getting stagnant, if you notice your growth is getting stagnant, because I felt like that too. I felt like just doing my intuition mentorship and courses alone, I was almost becoming a streamlined or one-way type of thinker. And the truth is, you can learn from anyone and anything. So even though I'm learning from a salesperson who isn't intuitive, this bitch is a master at what she does. Has made billions of dollars for other companies in sales. Has sold billions of dollars worth of products. Yeah, not an intuitive, but she's clearly doing something right. Same with the marketing mastermind I'm in. I'm working with someone who consistently gets over 1 billion views a month. Not an intuitive. We all have intuition, so let me clarify that too. We all have intuition, but when I say they're not intuitive, they just haven't trained their intuition. That's the difference between even a psychic and an intuitive. That's why my tagline is like a psychic but better. As an intuitive, I have trained my intuition using scientifically backed methods. I've cleared my intuitive channels with other intuitives' help to help me point out my subconscious blocks. It's very, very hard to point out your own at times. And why is it hard to call out your own limiting beliefs at times? It's because you have an emotional bias towards yourself. We all inherently have blind spots to what our work looks like, what is actually going on in our life, because we are so close to it. I actually heard the best metaphor for this in my marketing mastermind. You in your own life, you're inside the bottle. And at times it is hard to read what is actually going on. With intuition, can you absolutely do that on your own? Yes, but why would you ever do that alone? Life is hard enough. Why would you do anything alone? And what do I mean by that? Sure, could I intuit and put myself out there and make the mistakes and learn in sales and marketing? Yeah. Why would I not just invest time and my money in people who already have an expertise in this to save myself not only time, but so many fucking headaches down the road? So that's what I've been doing. I've been saving myself headaches. Have I felt overwhelmed in the process? Yeah, when you're going through 4 things at once, you're naturally going to feel overwhelmed. That's where intuition comes in hand though. I'm not trying to do everything every single day all at once. I intuit for myself what is the top priority for me to move the needle forward in business, money. Insert whatever high value thing is going on in your life. That should be top prio at the very beginning of your day. How do I move the needle forward in this XYZ thing? And then go do that. So I'm not every single day doing my business course, my intuition course, my sales, my marketing mastermind. Do I pay closer attention to and do more of the tasks in one course or one silo entity? I don't know why I keep calling them silo or entities, but that's what I'm channeling right now. Do I, of course, pay more attention to one of these things than the other at times? Fuck yeah. It's all about what's going to move the needle forward the most. So if it's one thing, this one entity is going to move the needle forward the most, I'm going to be focusing the hell out of that. And that overwhelmed feeling is normal. That's where your nervous system and emotional mastery techniques come in. Those are things I go over in one-on-ones with clients, because I could give general emotional mastery and nervous system calming techniques to get you out of fight or flight. However, are there things specific to you that will give you your greatest success at calming your nervous system? Duh. So what have I learned from all 4 of these different courses and things I'm doing? From all these different entities I've been participating in? I'm going to start with my intuition one, and I'm going to say it's okay to step away from constantly working with people who are in your expertise. I love, and I'm so obsessed with every single intuitive I've ever worked with, learned from. However, what I was starting to feel like is when you are all singing the same tune 24/7, again, that's not growth. You're not challenging your thoughts and ideas. But I was starting to feel stagnant because I'm thinking, we're all just saying the same thing. We're almost all, it's not like we're all agreeing with each other, but we all get it. So there's not a ton of growth in that. It's not even plateauing. It's more or less, I was feeling like I was plateauing. It's just a feeling, but intentionally designed by my higher self, the universe, so that I felt this urge to go on and try something else. Also in my intuition courses is where I stopped painting my nails for a second. My mentor called me out. He's like, why are you so obsessed with getting your nails done? He was calling me out. It was an external validation thing. I'm so obsessed with getting all things done. What do I mean by that? I love getting blowouts. I just went to Dry Bar. I love getting pedicures. I love getting massages. I love getting facials. Check yourself as to why you are getting the things though. Are you doing it from a girly, fun, I want this to be beneficial for my physical form type of place? And with my nails, I wasn't. With my manicure, I was not coming from that type of place. I thought getting my nails done gave me power, confidence. I always talk with my hands. So I was like, I need to get my nails done. People are going to see my nails. And now I'm just calling out another elephant in the room. I know my nails aren't done. And actually, I've been thriving with them. I don't care if you see them like this. It was the biggest, it sounds so silly, but it was the biggest, Not the biggest wake up call, that's so dramatic, but I am removing the need that I need my manicure done to feel hot, to feel like I can speak. The girlies who get it, get it. On top of that, I need to find a better nail place to go to. I can see wherever I was getting my nails done, it was fucking with my nails. I would get acrylic, and I'm even looking at my nails now. They were getting to be so brittle. So not only was it a intuitive pull to remove this need for a physical thing to give me confidence, this need for external validation from my nails. I know it sounds so fucking stupid, but we all do this. We all do this in one way, shape, or form. And the other reason why I was intuitively getting the pull to not get my nails done is to improve my nail health. And I say this because I wasn't expecting to go down this rabbit hole, but I was watching this fellow spiritual manifestation, intuitive girly on Instagram. I feel like I'll do a post on this eventually, but she was talking about how treating yourself nicely physically, meaning getting your hair done, your makeup done, your nails done, XYZ, how it's actually a very spiritual thing to do. And she said that anyone telling you your confidence comes from within is lying. She said something along those lines. Yes, it is a spiritual thing to treat and that's self-care. It is a spiritual thing to treat yourself, your physical form nicely. Get your haircuts, get your blowouts. It's a fact. The hotter you look, the more money you make. So yeah, do your makeup or whatever makes you feel hot. But at the end of the day, how you feel about yourself internally is what gets broadcasted out for reality to reflect back to you. And I say that because I have done all the external things while feeling like shit internally, meaning I had extensions, I had Botox. I was getting these external things that I thought would make me feel good, that would make me feel hot, confident. But the way I felt about myself was garbage. So none of those physical things mattered because my internal state was so off course from my higher self path. So does that make sense? Yes, the external things, getting your self-care shit done is spiritual. It's highly encouraged, actually. But why are you getting the external things done in the first place? Is it for validation? Is it because you think it'll make you hot? No, only you can do that to yourself. Only you can validate yourself. Only you can internally create the feeling of hot. Next takeaway is from my sales course. I actually love this one. Why do I love this one is because we all have money limiting beliefs. How do I know we all have money limiting beliefs? Have you ever experienced low back pain? Your body represents different parts of your psyche, different emotional imbalances, if you will. Your low back represents money. Low back pain is the #1 musculoskeletal condition in the United States of America. At one point or another, I'm going to guarantee 99.99999% of you have experienced low back pain. It's because we all have money limiting beliefs going on. We have limiting beliefs going on in the money area of life, and then we have limiting beliefs going on in other areas of our life that affect money. What do I mean by that? We have many areas of our life that all balance and mirror each other. Let me give a few examples of this. How oftentimes are you stressed at work maybe and you feel it in your chest? You're experiencing a physical symptom because of another area of your life career. It's why when you hit a big milestone, let's say in career, and you have a lot of pride and love towards yourself because you hit this mile mark. You're generating a lot of love and pride for yourself in career. And tell me how often, because you are so happy in this one area of life, that other people in your life, let's say family, friends, reflect that happiness back to you. If you felt deadbeat in career, would your family and friends reflect that back to you too? How many times has that happened? That's happened to me. Your mindset, your internal state reflects all areas of your life. That's why I say low back pain represents money. Your emotional imbalances regarding money, when held on to for a very long time and not being shifted, will begin to hit your physical form. And this isn't just for money, this is any emotional imbalance. Any emotional imbalance that you are holding on to for a prolonged period of time without addressing it will begin to hit different parts of your physical form. Each body part represents something. Like your hair represents intuition. So back to my original thought. We all harbor, majority of us harbor, and maybe I won't say all of us, but majority of us at one point or another in our lives have harbored a limiting belief regarding money. Yes, there are limiting beliefs you need to address in the money area of life, but there are other areas of life that you need to address as well in order to attract financial abundance, because every area of life is reflecting each other. So my sales course, this woman had admittedly opened up about having a limiting belief because it was burned into her brain from a young age that she can never make money, that her family would always be desperate for money, they can never attract the financial abundance, yada, yada, yada. So she shared this mindset hack that I love. She didn't call it a mindset hack, but that's essentially what it is. She said, every time I go to pay for something, I tell myself there's more where that came from. That's a mindset hack. And to put a cherry on top of that mindset hack, prove to yourself why that's true. Why is it true that every time you pay for something, you can get more of that where it came from? You can go out and get a job, right? That's definitely plenty more of where that came from. Energy is not created nor destroyed. So yeah, money will flow to you. Science says everything is energy, including money. You have the ability to make that money back tenfold or more. Every time you tap to pay, tap, tap, tap. There's more where that came from. There's more where that came from. There's more where that came from. Because what do our psyches like to do? Scarcity mindset. I'm no different. I've 1000% been there. No, where am I going to get the money for this? No, fuck that. Your brain is wired to keep you safe. Your brain is not wired to grow, expand, and be successful. That's science. That's primal. Back in the days where you needed a tribe to survive, that's all your brain gave an F about. And our brain hasn't really evolved out of that mindset since then. But today you don't really need that. You don't need the tribe to survive. You don't always need to be scanning for a threat and telling you, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. Because your brain wants to keep you safe. Your mindset dictates your reality. So if you are stuck in this fear cycle, you're only going to create situations that amplify that feeling. So I loved that mindset hack. There's more where that came from. Every single time you pay for something, and believe it, create that emotional connection to that saying. And if the doubt is still lingering, prove to yourself why that's true. Do you not get paid last week? Remind yourself of that. There's more that came from. You have a paycheck coming every 2 weeks. Third takeaway is from my marketing mastermind. I love this because it's very vulnerable to put yourself out there and be cringy. I think being cringy is magnetic. If you're being cringy, you are putting it all out there and people are drawn to that. Is it a scary fence to jump over, that fence of being safe and kind of playing it small and doing what everyone else is doing, to take that leap of faith over the fence? I'm literally seeing a horse jump over a hurdle right now. On one side of the hurdle, where the horse starts at, is safety. What you think is safe. Jumping over the hurdle is being cringy, vulnerable, sharing a side of you that no one else has seen before. That's what makes you money though. And if you are in the business of selling anything, a product or a service, you better believe you are in the marketing business. I don't give a fuck if you hire a marketing agency. You need to be able to tell these people your story in order to sell the product or service. Unless you have some really gifted mind readers on that marketing team, you are in the business of marketing. And I've heard this saying a million times before, but it just hits home every time I hear it. Because it's very easy to get stuck in this playing small mindset. But first of all, anyone who has a comment about what you're doing, would you want their life? Fuck no. Let's just get that out of the way. Hell no. If someone is commenting on what you're doing or how you're doing it, ask yourself, do you want their life? Every single part of their life. Not just that they have $5 million, but do you want every single part of their life? I'm gonna say no, you don't. And second, if someone is making fun of you, I'm going to nearly guarantee that that person is not above you. Not saying people are above or below each other, but you get what I'm saying? Highly successful people do not kick you when you're down. Highly successful people do not make fun of you or make a comment or shame you for what you're putting out there. Know who does that? Bottom feeder type shit. People who are bottom of the funnel, doing nothing with their life except being keyboard warriors on their couch. Fuck them and fuck that. Who cares if people make fun of you? It's also universal law that whatever anyone says to you, they are just projecting how they feel about themselves. Also, it is a universal law that whatever anyone says to you is actually how they feel about themselves. So if I said you're dumb, I don't think anyone here is dumb. Let me just put that out there. If I said you're dumb, I'm saying that because I'm projecting that I actually think I'm dumb in some area of my life. So be like, Timmy said this is cringe? That's because Timmy thinks he's cringe in some area of his life. And if anything, he probably fucking wishes he was doing what you were doing. Last takeaway is from my business design and structure course. Because again, it's another mindset hack. That's what I'm saying. All these very successful people, they don't call it mindset hacks, but that's essentially what they are. We tend to operate from the past memories, past experiences, fear. Again, that's the way our brain is wired to keep us safe. You have control over your thoughts though. Double down on how that is not the truth. You don't need to act out of this fear-based state from the past. What will also help shift this fear-based memory is acknowledging that you only remember your memories with 12% accuracy. That's insane. That's wild. So why are we acting like that's Bible, this one-off memory we had from the time we were 5? You can rewrite that memory for all I care. And actually, that is a technique I give to my clients. Rewrite that memory. Because how you're remembering it isn't right. And I guarantee you, whoever else is involved in that memory has a completely different explanation for the timeline of events or feelings or whatever the hell went on, has a completely different recollection of that. So in this business design course, and this is an 8-figure dude, he's saying you have to operate and make decisions from the future version of you that already has the thing. Duh. And I say duh because I'm even in this work and I have to remind myself of that. I'm in this work with intuition and changing your mindset, and I even have to remind myself. Take a milestone in health, career, money, family, whatever it is. Take that milestone and ask yourself, what version of you that has that thing already, what decisions are they making today? It is imperative that you embody that person, those emotions, that thing already in order to attract the thing you desire the most, in order to attract that milestone. Do you think you get $250,000 in your bank account and then start to feel like the 250K person? No. Fuck no. The universe does not operate like that. You need to act and embody and cultivate the feelings and make the decisions that a 250K person would make now, and then you'll get that thing. Why is that? It's to calm your nervous system. If your nervous system is out of whack with the 250K thing or whatever milestone you chose, if your nervous system is not aligned with that, you're not getting that thing. If you're playing small, why would you attract that financial abundance? Again, your mindset and the decisions you make dictate your reality, dictate how life is mirroring back to you. So it's a full send to start embodying that now. I want to retouch on how different areas of your life affect each other. You've heard me call them reflections in previous podcasts. But why do different areas of your life reflect each other from source POV? Let's say there's an area of your life that you pay really close attention to. Let's say family. And because you are paying such close attention to family that you are ignoring limiting beliefs and emotional imbalances in money. The universe, God, whatever higher power you believe in, source, will begin to create situations and triggers that get your attention, that piss you off in the family area of life because you pay very close attention to it, to throw up smoke and signal saying, hey, there's something going on that you're not paying attention to. Reflect and look inward. Where is this emotional imbalance actually lying? Because again, why would the universe create a trigger or situation in money if you're not even paying close attention to it? Let's say you're a billionaire and you're like, I have no reason to pay attention to money. But let's say there's an emotional imbalance that really, really needs to be shifted. Your higher self is dying for you to shift to get to your next up level. Your higher self in the universe and source are not going to orchestrate that situation in money if you're not even paying attention to it. That emotional imbalance is going to be red flag signaled in family because that's what you pay really close attention to. Let's say a family member is yelling at you. And you're asking yourself, where is this coming from? I don't even understand why this volume and severity of this reaction is being forced onto me right now. Like, they're not understanding where I'm coming from. They're not prioritizing what I'm feeling. Stop there, right? Again, that's a trigger in family to spotlight another area of life that you're not paying attention to. So you start to ask yourself, okay, not how that family member is being, but how does that make you feel? Let's say this family member yelling at you makes you feel like they're not prioritizing your feelings in this situation. Okay, you take that feeling and you ask yourself, where am I not prioritizing myself in another area of life? Because that's the true trigger, that's the true root of why this family shit is coming up. That's why people have chronic illnesses. That's why people have chronic low back pain. Is because they're not getting to the root cause as to what is actually going on. That's why if you have low back pain, it keeps coming back over and over and over again because you're not addressing your money shit. You pay attention to your physical form though, you have no choice. You live, breathe, walk with it day in and day out. You better believe your higher self, the universe, and source are orchestrating situations with your body to say, hey, this emotional imbalance is living here and needs to be shifted, but you're not paying attention to that, so we're going to create low back pain until you acknowledge it. Does that make sense? Triggers are things that are not desirable popping up in your life. Whatever area it's popping up in, know that there is an emotional imbalance in another area of life that needs to be addressed to fully shift that thing. Let's go back to the family example. So you look inward, you figure out how the situation is making you feel. You see, okay, where am I being that way towards myself in another area of life? Trust me, it gets very humbling when you're like, wow, I'm not prioritizing myself that much in this area of life. Yeah. It's wildly humbling to realize that. This is an emotional imbalance with money. We gotta shift that. That could be mindset work, energetic work, physical action steps to take. You have to figure out that emotional imbalance in the other area of life first for the family shit to resolve completely. After you resolve that, then go back to family. Because it's not like you can just ignore family then. It's like, figure it out there too. Maybe this family member, again, is yelling at you. Clear your mind, sit down with them, and devise a plan for a better way to discuss problems going on in your lives, right? So you need to address the situation, the emotional imbalance in the area of life where the trigger is not popping up in. Then go back to the family member, go back to the area of life where the trigger is popping up in, and make good by that too. And sometimes you won't even need to. Sometimes the family member will just change. I mean, I say just change. Maybe they'll stop yelling at you. Use your own discretion on that. But let's go back to the low back pain money example. You will keep getting recurring back pain if you are not solving your money shit. However, once you solve the money shit, do you also need to be nice to your back? Yeah, it's not like you can just go sit and slob on your couch 12 hours a day. Maybe walk, maybe do some core exercises. However, the walking, the core exercises mean nothing. The back pain will come back if you do not address the money shit that is underlying and now hitting your physical form because you ignored it for so long. It's not just you, it's America. It's all of America. I will eventually be releasing a course on this to help navigate how to shift these triggers and emotional imbalances and how to get your mindset on track to begin attracting your dream life. For now, I dive deep into that in one-on-one private sessions with my clients. Because I could just tell you, yeah, your low back pain is because of your money emotional imbalance. But what exactly is the money emotional imbalance, right? Are you not prioritizing yourself with money? Do you have a bad relationship with money? Do you have a scarcity mindset, right? Like, that'll be different for every person. That's what I dive deep into in one-on-ones. I'll link my waitlist in the show notes. For the meantime, it was so good to be back, and I'll see you next week.